Right, well here we are again, back at it. Build 8, Sweeney Todd Escape Room at Enigma Rooms Pontefract. Well, here we go. Might as well get stuck straight in. I'm going to be totally upfront and apologise immediately. Sorry there wasn't a video last week. It's been absolute carnage recently. Trying to get stuff done, trying to get all the bits of business done, this, that and the other. Next thing you know, we were out of time. So, we're getting stuck back in, and this is the bit that I've been kind of putting off. Getting this tunnel finished. Means that I have to do a load of messing about that I couldn't really be getting motivated for. But here we go. So, a couple of bits. We're having to put a couple of holes into the tunnel wall. I'm not going to talk too much about what's going in there. But yeah, we're doing a couple of holes in there. For anybody who hasn't messed around with MDF before, what I would suggest is get yourself a good mask, because don't do as I do, just do as I say, please. You should be wearing like masks and ear defenders and a high-vis hat and steel gloves and all that kind of stuff. Especially when you're messing about with things like this, if you haven't done it before, whether it's routers or any sort of like cutting implements. This is me absolutely butchering a bit of routering around this hole. So that's why you'll see a little bit later on. I have to get some sanding going on with it. I say butchering it. I mean, if anybody can answer why all of a sudden this will happen, if you're used to messing about with MDF, so basically you will be routering away quite happy, la-di-da-di-da. Your router's all nice and sharp. You're not doing it too rigorously. You're not trying to like chonk it through or anything like that. And then all of a sudden, it's like there's something that's a bit too thick that's in the actual MDF itself. Maybe it's just the fibres are stuck together a bit more or whatever. I don't know. But then all of a sudden it jumps out, and what was looking pretty awesome, you know, then has a bit of a wobble in it. Proper nightmare. But anyway, on with sanding. Got to make sure that you got a smooth hole. And then a bit more cutty before we get on with putting the actual tunnel together. So for any of you that watched the last video, which was the side mission, you might have noticed, if you got all the way through it, not only was it a little bit different, but also you'll have spotted the legend that is Danny Glover. Yes, that's his actual name, and yes, he is getting too old for this stuff. Yeah, he can't resist it. If there's a camera there, you can guarantee he's going to be there gurning. Anyway, thanks very much to him for diving in on last one and just sort of like finishing some bits up for us. Unfortunately, he's not quite as good at the old DIY. In fact, if it involves sticking some matches in a hole so he can put a screw in it, then you might as well not bother asking. So here we are, up on top of the tunnel. We've got his lid on. I didn't bother showing that bit because it was a bit of a nightmare and everything was getting way too programmed. So here we are. We're basically putting these buttons across. There's going to be something for us to screw the lid of the tunnel into, but also something for us to put the actual floor of the walkway above the tunnel onto. So it's going to be nice and sturdy, so even a fat lad like me can walk around on it. Now once we've got all this sort of stuff done, we can get up to some more other types of shenanigans in the tunnel, or above the tunnel should I say, because we're going to be running a load of wiring and things like that through there for like TVs and and all sorts of stuff like sensors and switches and all that kind of thing. Not forgetting that we've got to have access so that we can get into the boiler. Now, as you're watching this, you're probably thinking, my lord, has he not got any levels or anything like that? This thing looks a little bit odd. It looks a bit high on one side and low on the other. Well, if I'm being honest, the entire room is pretty much odd. So everything that I'm doing is level, but it looks miles out because the walls and the doors and everything like that around it are all off. So, I mean, what are you meant to go with there? Thankfully, we're going for a theme of Sweeney Todd, and we're not wanting the stuff to look pristine like it's brand new and just built. So, we can get away with it looking a little bit cockeyed and things like that, you know, in some of the stuff that we're putting in. But other stuff, it is just freaking me out, if I'm straight with you. Look at me, I'm so agile, like a young gazelle just diving around everywhere. I know, you're probably wondering how did I get so flexible. Anyway, so coming up to just finishing off the battens across the end of the tunnel lid. And then we've got a couple of other things that we need to think about as we're doing this. One of the things is, whereabouts are we going to mount our camera that's going to be in the tunnel itself? Because with escape rooms, I don't know about if anybody's played any others or if there's anybody that owns. How many cameras do you have in your games? How many should you have? Should it be that you have no dead spots whatsoever at all in the space? Or do you want it so that one camera will cover an entire game or an entire room? Ourselves, we tend to go for, we have as many cameras as we can possibly put in there so that we don't really have any dead spaces in the games. Because you can guarantee that's going to be the one place that all the team are going to end up congregating in, or putting everything down in there, or, you know, getting up to no good. This that I'm doing here, I think, is a bit of a good idea. Basically, what I did was, that strap that's going across the roof top there, that you see me just fasten up, that's basically what I did was, I laid it on top of the tunnel roof, and I marked on it where all the cross beams are. Then I put it underneath, fasten it to the roof, so that I know where the cross beams are without having to jump out and keep measuring and so on like that. I thought that was a bit of a good idea, but if there's any joinerers out there, and you actually know what you do with this sort of stuff, drop us a message or a comment and actually tell us how you do it better than that. Now, as you can probably tell, when I'm not listening to some sort of audiobook or music or something like that, my mind wanders a little bit. And especially when I'm in a confined space like that, well, yeah, it just starts to wander. End up chatting to myself a bit too much. Whoa!
Right then. Round.
Right, so diving into it, different type of material here. So this is an 18mm ply, and basically the reason why I'm wanting an 18mm ply is it's pretty damn solid, it's pretty rigid, not great deal of chance of it just like cracking or snapping or anything like that. And this is what's going to be going on top of the tunnel for the actual walkway itself, but also we can then fasten that down to the beams that are going across, so that makes those more rigid, more sturdy, they're not going to go anywhere, and it basically just tightens the whole thing up. And as you can see there, that's what I'm talking about. How mad does that angle look? It looks all over the place, doesn't it? I can promise you, when we put it in, it will actually level. So, it probably don't help with how the camera is. Here I am, keeping myself busy listening to an audiobook. If you do listen to audiobooks and you've got some recommendations, again, put them in comments, because I listen to audiobooks more than I listen to anything else, so I'm always after a good recommendation. Personally, I like a good Clive Cussler or David Baldacci or Lee Child, something like that. And of course, I'm a big fan of the Barry Trotters. That looks pretty sturdy. If it's going to handle me dancing around and stamping about on it, that's pretty sturdy. A little bit of housekeeping at end of tunnel. Basically just neatening up some of the edges and also making sure that I've got enough of a cutout so that the access panel at the end has got something to screw into, because for some reason they don't work as well with skyhooks, so they need to be actually screwed into some wood. Ridiculous, I know. Probably handiest tool that we've got, the multi-tool, or reciprocating tool, whatever you want to call it, or anything like that. Absolutely dead right. Probably gets more used more than anything else that's in toolbox. Well, anyway, that's it from me, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass you over to him. So thanks very much, and I'll catch you next Saturday. Right, well, we'll call that a jobbed. Just easing yourself back into build. And to be perfectly honest, I think we all know, we'd all been thinking it, haven't we? Really, I'm quiet. That just needed doing. We needed to get lid on tunnel, and we also need to get walkway on top of it, because I've been kind of putting it off and sort of like, I don't really want to do it. Anyway, it's done. So now I can crack on with a bit more fun stuff next week. So thank you very much for watching this far. Very well done to yourself. Give yourself a pat on the side. And also, if you made it this far, it's rude not to give it a bit of a subscribe. Press that little bell, a big ling ling ling, and give it a thumbs up. So I'll catch you next Saturday. Thanks very much. See you later. Bye.